I'm live. I'm gonna use my skin is so dry today. Even though it's raining, I feel like there should be some moisture in the air, but my crispy old skin, it's that Irish skin. Tatcha, the dewy skin cream. How are you guys? How was your weekend? Haven't been on since last week. I'm gonna need more than that today. Here we go. Hopefully people pop on. I have an exciting hello. How are you? I'm good. I'm very good. My face is dry. I got that not going for me. Merry Christmas. Oh my goodness. It is approaching us quickly. How was your... Oh, I talked to you guys since Thanksgiving. I'm already like, I'm rewinding. Okay. I still need more. That's how dry my skin is. It's sucking everything up like crazy. So anyway, I officially announced my new podcast, the title, the tagline, everything yesterday on my Facebook, my Instagram. So if you're following me there, maybe you already saw. But I am going to be doing, it's called But Still She Thrives. And it is for women who are looking to gain confidence, power, and peace after they have been through abuse. So it's kind of like, I know a lot of my clients, even a lot of you, we've had side comments, thank you, side conversations rather, about your own experience with this. It's more common than it should be, abuse, right? And sometimes we need to talk about the hard things in order to get past them. And I'm not focusing on the actual abuse. I will be talking about it, lightly, but more I'm focusing on, all right, what do you do now? Because there is damage that comes along when you're abused. Emotional damage, your own self-talk, your own self-esteem, right? Your lack of feeling like you have power, your view of how other people see you or may see you, your worry, people-pleasing tendencies, maybe not with everybody, but definitely with, you might attract a certain type of person when you have been abused because you are comfortable being in a place of almost submission. I don't want to use that big of a word, but that's the only word I can think of right now. You've been live streaming? Oh, nice. I have to check it out. On here? So, excuse me, my allergies. Sometimes they be going in the morning. They be going. So it's called But Still She Thrives. It'll be coming out in January. I'm going to use my primer, which is by Good Molecules, silicone free. So January is go time. The first week in January, I should have it up. And I'm excited. And yeah, I can't believe it is officially December. There's a tree lighting nearby tonight I wanted to go to, but Cora has her dance class like kind of within the time frame, so I don't know if we'll be able to do both. But all the fun festivities have begun. YouTube, Rumble. Oh yeah, that's right. You do those others that I have never been on and know nothing about. Twitch, I hear all sorts of things, but I am not on there. I feel like I need to brush my hair a little bit here. So what are you live streaming about, dear? What you live streaming about? Oh, speaking of which, that's a great conversation to have on here. Look, I just called you dear, right? I use terms of endearment a lot. I'll say honey. I don't know if you guys notice this about me, but I'll say honey, sweetie, love. I say boo. Boo's kind of my jokey one. I use it more with like friends, but with strangers, I mean, if you hold a door for me, you're getting a thanks, honey, thanks, love. Like, it's a term of endearment. There was this whole conversation yesterday about this woman posted on like one of the local Facebook groups here. And she was like, I just moved here from California, and like we use the terms love, honey, something else. Babe was another one, which I don't use babe a lot, but I wouldn't care if someone did. But she said, and I find that she feels like women like find it weird. She said, I feel like people are acting weird toward me about it. And maybe even like not being her friend because of her terms of endearment. So I posted on my personal page, I was like, I didn't know this was a thing that was like love loving words offended people. I could see it if it's like, honey, you better did it, like condescending in the use. But she was saying she just uses it as like, hey, babe, yep, I'll get back to you soon, hun. Okay, love, you know, which I'm like, I don't get it. I mean, I get some people, this is my, sorry, Nude Glow, CC, it Cosmetics, CC Nude Glow. I get it that you might not be used to it, right? Like it might catch you off guard if you weren't raised like that. I mean, I was raised in an Italian family and I don't know, we're passionate, loving people. You should pop into Saturday's stream. It'll be about electronics and hard drive repair. Oh, that's cool. 23 hard drives. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, if I'm around, I definitely will. Saturdays sometimes are busy, but if I am around, I will try to make sure I'm on your, that I have the notifications set. So even if I'm on the road, I could try to pop in. On the road again. So what is your all's take? Like, and I had different people, most people were like, oh my God, I have no problem. It's not offensive at all. Trying to think of it more, at least one person was like, they thought it was weird, especially if like they don't know you that well, I guess. She said, all I need is a thank you. And I'm like, I don't know, like, can it hurt? Community drama. Oh, that's fun. Fun drama. I mean, the like community chat. I love that. So I guess you're a good person to ask as a man, and that's what people were saying too. They're like, if a man said it, or you wouldn't say that to a man. I say it to men all the time. I call men honey. I call men, look, I just called a man dear. I don't really think about it. It's just like, it's an affectionate word. I'm an affectionate word person. I'm actually more affectionate with my words than I am like, I'm not super like touchy unless, aw, you're sweet. And I will do my best to support you back this weekend. I'm not super touchy, except with like close people I know. So it's almost like, you know, some people are like, oh girl, and like touch you like, yes, yes. Right when they meet you, I don't have a problem with that either. But I myself am not like that. Like, so it's almost like I feel like this is Ilya. Like my words are how I express myself. So I don't know. It's like very common use. Yeah, I was thinking because you live there that might be the case. You're more used to it. And someone was like, yeah, DC is a cold area. And people got offended on the other post, not the one I posted. And I'm like, it's true. Someone's like, we're not cold. We're very busy. And she said, which I don't know if I agree with this, that like, people know better than to like, I don't know. What was she saying? Spend too much time? Like we got places to go. People say like, we just, you know, we're on the run. I don't know what that has to do with language, but okay. I'll put it on the top too. But DC, I'm sorry, yeah, it's a cold language. And someone's like, that's the people that came here. People expect with an education to have a large vocabulary, express themselves more baby. Yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know. To me, I don't even think it's that. I think this area, and I grew up here, so this, to backtrack real quick, someone said, like, it's this area, blah, blah, and people got upset, of course, that are from here, which I didn't, because I think it's true. I grew up here since I was 0 years old, and I gotta be honest, I think we can definitely be cold compared to the South, compared to Midwest. I mean, maybe we're a little warmer than New York. Like, it depends what part of New York. Like, Manhattan, New York is very hustle bustle. But even New Yorkers, like my family calls each other, okay, hun, yeah, hun, blah, blah, you know, like to anybody. So the Italians, I think, it might be, you know, cultural too. The Italians might speak more of that way. But in general, I think this area is not super friendly. I think it's like, and this could be in New York too, we're not super friendly But if you need us, if the community, even in Virginia, which I thought was like a little different than where I live now, even there, if someone in the community like has a house fire, everyone will show up and like give their life, like people will show up for each other, but it's not in general as warm. Like you're not walking down the street like, hey neighbor, it's like people are very much focused. And that woman, so what she was saying is everyone's focused on their thing and focused on where they have to go next. And I'm like, in describing that, shouldn't we check ourselves then? Shouldn't we sit and think about our priorities in life? I mean, everyone around this DC area, it's like they want to be successful. I feel like that is the word. And success to me is so different from a lot of people around here. So I think sometimes that I don't fit in the best, because to me, success is like being present and being present in your family and doing something for yourself. Like, I'm a big advocate of that. But not to the point that you are, I can't think of the word right now, but that you're cutting out other things in your life, Everyone in our neighborhood, if we see each other, we speak. Like really being in the South and the way people interact with each other. Yeah, I'll get some highs. My next door neighbor, we actually like talk. We will stand out there and talk for an hour sometimes. The husband's very, very friendly. Really cool guy. And then my other next door neighbor. And I know the other ones, and they're friendly because we know each other. But and I wave to people on the street that I don't know all the time, and I think they think I'm crazy because I don't see most people like super friendly. Our neighborhood's a little friendlier than some. I'm a Southern at heart. I don't know why. I'm a mix of Southern and I've got that Italian passion in me too. And I love hard. Like that's the thing. I love hard, but I'm fierce, right? Fierce mama, where also like you mess with me, it's not going to be so pretty either, but then I will forgive if someone holds themselves accountable. Here's my bronzer by Charlotte Tilbury. If someone holds themselves accountable, says sorry if they did something shisty, and like I can tell it's sincere, I'm almost too forgiving then. Like I really can be, because I have hope for everybody. But if you have a pattern of being an a-hole to me, you're out. Like Seacrest out. And my delivery and speaking sometimes is not, here's my Charlotte Tilbury powder, isn't the fuzziest and coziest. Like I'm very straight to the point. So I'm not going to flower it up. I'll be like, yeah, dude, that ain't working. It's not working for me. And once I made a decision, it's kind of like I get serious about it. But then if weeks later you come back and you're like, look, I thought about it. I'm so sorry. I really shouldn't have done that. It's like, I do have a forgiving heart. Will I forget it? Will it sit back? I won't forget it. It will sit back in here. Not that I'll act totally different, but I remember. I'll have a little wall up and I'll be like, okay, you hurt me in the past, so you're probably capable of doing again. Let's see what happens. And then over time, maybe you can build up trust again, right? That's like a typical thing. But so that I don't know Southern people enough to know, because I've heard some Southerners, it's almost like where they're very sweet to your face, but talk behind your back, like the, oh, bless your heart kind of thing. And I had a friend who went down, she moved to Tennessee and said it was really hard to meet friends there. I feel like having my little snowman palette today. She said from Too Faced. By the way, check out my videos on all these. I have a bunch. I'm going to do Maids of Milking. But she said it was really hard to meet friends like that. It was kind of like, at first she thought she had these friends and then realized she like found out they were like all talking about her behind her back. So I don't know if that's true. That's the thing where DC, New York, you are going to get what you get. If someone don't like you, you're going to know it. You have to learn the passive aggressive language. Yes, exactly. Bless your heart. Which I know about The bless your heart thing. Yes, exactly. It's condescending. That's what I thought. Which I did not know that until I made a friend from Arkansas, and she told me that. She's like, oh, it's like, oh, bless your heart. It's like, condescending. Like, oh, aren't you stupid? Or I guess, I don't know if that's the word, but like, oh, look at you. It's not a very kind word. So that was good to learn when I was like, I don't know, my late 20s probably. I think I was 27, 28 when I learned that. And this is Go Elfin Wild. So Maids of Milking and Go Elfin Wild. I'm just going to keep it. Whoa! Woohoo! My brush got excited. I'm going to keep it pretty light. Light on that today. Now, am I going to do? Yeah, I'll do liner. We will pray for you. That's another Southern thing. Interesting. That's condescending too, right? Like, oh, we'll pray for you. But down deep, it's like, you got issues. You got issues, and we don't want anything to do with you, probably, right? They ain't really praying for you. And that's the trick, I guess, about the Southerners. They're like maybe warm on the outside and really warm to people they are close with, I assume. But then if they don't like you, you won't really know it. And I will say I kind of appreciate that. Maybe that is the New York in me. Like, I do appreciate, if you don't like me, I feel like I'd rather know. I don't like fake. He's just simple-minded. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I do feel like I would rather someone just say to my face, like, you're not my cup of tea. And I'm like, cool, now I know. That actually happened to me. Well, when I was in Virginia, someone made a comment in front of a bunch of people. She was like, you're too much, whatever. This story sticks with me forever. If she probably, I don't know if she follows me or whatever anymore, but anyway, she said I was too much. And like making it a joke, but when you can tell people have that, like, yeah, like I wasn't her cup of tea, I think, which I'm not going to be everybody's. Like, I'm loud, I'm goofy, whatever. I don't need to be. But she said that, and so it kind of hurt my feelings, especially because it was in front of people, and I was trying to, make friends, and I was just having a good time, minding my own business, telling a story, and someone was joking, and they were like, were you in drama, Christy? And I was like, you know it, and she was like, yeah, you're a bit much. Like that. Instead of like, where someone's like, girl, were you in drama? And it's like funny and playful. It was like, yeah, you're too much. So we were in the car on the way home because we had both gotten a ride from the same woman. And Snoop Dogg was playing, and I turned Snoop Dogg down to have a little discussion. And I'm just to the point. So I was like, hey, what you said kind of hurt my feelings. Fine. And she was like, I was just joking. I'm like, I feel like there was truth to it, whatever, something like that. And I said, if you don't like me, like, I would rather just know. We don't have to hang out. We don't have to be around each other. But, like, I don't want to hang out with people who don't like me. So I'd rather, like, just know. Most people, I guess, won't really tell you if they don't like you. So she didn't say. She was like, no, I was just joking, blah, blah, blah. So she didn't really come out and say, but, like, because I'd rather you just be like, yeah, I mean, you're okay. You're just not my type. Like, that's okay. There's, like, billions of people in the world. We don't have to be each other's type, But people aren't set up like that. I mean, I am. If someone straight up was like, if I didn't like them, they're like, actually, that's happened. That happened in Virginia, too. I didn't say I didn't like them, but she was asking why I wasn't that friendly toward her like I was other people. And I said, well, I hear you talk a lot of shit about people. I hear you gossip a lot. So I don't really feel like safe with you as a friend, like I don't feel like you won't just turn around and talk shit behind my back. So that's why. There it is. That I feel like that's how people should be. Then we can be, and I was still kinder. We actually ended up being friendly, hanging out with people. We hung out together. She wasn't one of my closest friends, She was fun, but I'm not about to tell you my deep, dark secrets. But I think the world would operate nicely if we could all just be honest. I don't like the bless your hearts because I think, if you don't like me, just tell me. But it's interesting. It was a very interesting conversation yesterday. Seeing all the different people from different areas, or even people both in the DC area that may have different cultural backgrounds that are like, oh my God, I love endearing words. Your family should move to West Monroe, Louisiana. You'd fit into our friend group well here. So y'all are honest, I take it. Yeah. I'm probably, I'm the most honest person in my family, I think. And that, I think, also developed through like doing therapy when I was younger too, because I developed, I think, a confidence in a way, not like, ooh, I'm the bomb.com, but confidence in like speaking my truth and not being afraid of the consequence. Like, I'm going to tell you what I think, and if that ruins a relationship, that's got to be okay, because I have to be able to be authentic. Like, and that's what I think. I mean, when I started YouTube through YouTube years, one of the biggest comments I got was, I love your authenticity. You're so authentic. You're so real, da da da. So that is a big part of me. My mom kind of taught me that, but she still has a piece of her that I think cares more than I do about what people think of me. And that sounds weird, like I don't care. And I have moments I care. I'm human. We have a nice non-swinger. I love that. We're very supportive and accepting friend group. That's nice. That is nice. Yeah, I have more like friends, and I don't have one friend group, which would be nice. I don't know that I've ever had that. Isn't that interesting? Very family-oriented type of person. That's great. Yeah. I have like friends from high school, friends from college, friends I met in Virginia, friends I met here, but they're not all like friends with each other. Or even the friends I met here, I met some here and here, but like we haven't all really come together to, I mean, they might know each other, but they're not like a friend group per se. You know what I mean? Oh, I gotta do my lashes. What am I doing? I'm just spitting over here talking about God knows what. So it's just so interesting how different people can be. And to me, it blows my mind that anyone could be offended by the word honey or love. Like, I'm like, that's just my love coming out. Like, how can you be mad at the word honey or love or boo? Boo, a lot of people really don't like boo. I found that even with before yesterday. They're like, oh, that's so whatever. But I think it's like fun. It's playful to me. I don't care. And I'll never stop saying it. If someone specifically is like, I don't really, please don't call me honey, then I won't. But I'm not knowing that some people don't like it, that is not going to stop me from going around calling people love and honey when I feel like gratitude. It's like appreciation. It's like a lovey feeling. Like, how is that? How is that offensive? Like, even the woman yesterday, and I'm not like dogging her, I'm just trying to understand. Like, she's like, all I need is a thank you. I don't need a honey or a love or. But can it hurt to have a love word in there? And then someone said it can come off as inauthentic because you don't know the person. People that get offended by those words normally have been verbally abused in life, so they want to be taken overly seriously. Think if your father and mother called you stupid when you were a kid. Yeah, well, I think it might be almost like I thought about that yesterday too. Like, is it partially, did they go through abuse? I did think about that. Is there a discomfort because you're so not used to those words? It feels like just unnatural for you to be called that, especially by somebody who is not close to you, but, serious trauma. Yeah, absolutely. So I encourage people who are offended by that to look inside, like, and that's what I said to somebody. I said, it's more about my personality than me like being over familiar. Like I think we're honey bunny boo-boos. clearly, like I just met you, but it's my personality. It has nothing really to do with you. It's my expression of gratitude. Like it's a me thing. So you cannot like that, but try not to be offended by it, right? You cannot like that about me. You don't want to hang out with me because I use the word honey. I mean, that's a sad day for me, for not for me, but for the world when. But I get it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We come from different cultures. We come from different histories, like abuse. And I absolutely did think there's got to be something in there. There's got to be a through line. There's got to be a common thread of these people, unless it, culturally, yes, but some of these people that are so offended by it. And I do know somebody who hates being called girl. And I don't, like, how girl in recent years has been like, I don't know if in the Louisiana it's like that, but like, hey girl, hey girl. Like, it's so common. I've never blinked an eye when someone's called me girl. It's very, very common, overly common for me and my friends, or even just people you meet through a friend at a party and you're like, girl, I love that dress, girl, girl, and you say it all weird like that. No. But I have someone close to me I know that, like, I can't call her that. Like, she is so offended by that because she feels like it's demeaning and like you're calling her a girl instead of a woman. Does that come from trauma? Probably, right? Does that come from somewhere? It's got to come from somewhere. And I'm sure she wouldn't see it that way. She'd probably be like, no, I'm a woman. I don't want to be called a girl. I don't know. It could be. Everything I say is not right. These are all just my opinions, okay? I'm going to trademark all my opinions. But it was so fascinating to me reading through these comments yesterday. And someone said on my page, God, with all the problems in this world, if people are really offended by this, like, it's just crazy. But like you said, people have their stuff, right? People have their crap. People have gone through hard times. And I think a lot of it can be discomfort, or when you do not feel worthy, you don't feel really good about yourself. You might have yourself fooled that you do. You might think you do. You might have that fake confidence that I had in high school. I mean, I wasn't like cocky, but it was like a jokey cocky. I'd be like I had a keychain on my backpack that said something like, treat me like the goddess I am, right? It was just funny. I'm jokey too. I was a class clown. So it was all in fun. But I do think there was a truth to that in the fact that I had low self-esteem and I didn't want anyone to know that. And I wanted to cover it up. I kept people at arm's length. I didn't let people too close. I didn't tell a secret I had in my life that I had to live with. I did not disclose that through all of high school. So nobody really knew me as a whole. And I protected myself with jokes. I mean, the class clown, wearing little things that were like, treat me like the goddess I am, right? Did I think I was a goddess? No, far from it. I had very low self-esteem. I thought I was stupid. I did not think I was pretty. The list goes on. I did not feel good about myself, and I didn't feel like I was that valuable. So I tried to use my humor, like, to at least have something, right? My brother was very smart. Well, that's a whole other video. That's a whole other episode. I'm going to put on my chunkiest chili. And so I got into makeup to cover up. Just kidding. I do love makeup. It's like art to me. I love it. Oh, I was like, why do I look dead? I need some color on my cheeks. I need some color. Let's do it. But so all that stuff, yeah, it can come from stuff like that. I myself have self-esteem issues. I mean, I feel like I've come a long way through therapy and everything, but I could use some more work. I could feel better about myself. But so it was just a fascinating conversation. I'm glad we got to continue it here today. and get your, I love getting a male's perspective because I don't think, I had one guy on there say, at work, a woman that he works with calls him Boo, and he loves it and has no problem with it. And he's like, hello, Andrew. Oh, UK, can we talk about that? Do people use words like terms of endearment, like honey, if they're not that familiar? Let's say you just met someone and you're like, oh, honey, could you hand me the forks or something if you're at a restaurant, or if someone holds the door for you? Thank you, love. Do people use those terms of endearment? Love? Okay. And it's like acceptable? Yeah, we were talking about this whole conversation, how in different parts of the United States where I'm right outside DC. DC is not such a, we are known as being a little cold. New York is, as you go up in the northern states, well, through like New Hampshire, New York, it's kind of considered like we're kind of coldish people that aren't like the warmest and loving. It's a stereotype, obviously, but I've been here my whole life, and I'd say it's pretty true that compared to a lot of the country, we are very like, gotta go here, gotta do this, like robotic. I'm gonna get such shit later. People are gonna be like, that's great, thanks for calling us all robotic, Christy. I don't know the word. We're very like, everyone does say mate. Oh yes. Hey mate, that's nice. I like that. I would love someone to call me mate. Can you call me mate? Someone call me mate, please. But yeah, that's true, right? So are there different parts of the UK that don't typically say that, or is that like all around? And do you feel like UK people, I've never been to the UK. I feel like they're not typically, from what I see or hear in movies and whatever, that they're not as warm as like our southern states. Like, oh, honey, hey, honey, oh, yeah. Like gushy gooey, because there's like that UK humor and sarcasm, right? But I feel like I do feel like there's kindness there. People overschedule, yes, because everything costs so much. Right. The cost of living here is insane. And I think that's like a lot of big cities in the US, or anywhere. The closer to a city you are, the more you may be like this. DC for sure. DC, there's the politics. Obviously, there's a lot of government workers, and there's just a lot of work. It is a work-based area, which I love working. I love having purpose, but my whole purpose in life is not to work. You know what I mean? And that's most people's purpose, I feel like, is work here. I worked with a few Americans. They mostly thought I was rude, but I think it's a dry culture. Yeah, you have that dry humor, sarcastic, right? And that, in my family, so we're Italian, we're passionate, but we also are very jokey. My dad's side is more sarcastic, not as obvious, where my mom's side, like, we're very expressive. Like, for example, on Thanksgiving, me, my mom, and my aunt were at my mom's house, and like, we're just goofy. I think goofy is a good word. I'm like, I just start singing a song, and we all start singing it. I worked for Sears in Chicago for a while and decided to move to Little America. I'm very happy. I love that. Chicago, that's kind of a hustle area, right? I mean, near that big city life. So we were all sitting there, and we have this New York song. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why our family sings it. It's all the women in the family sing this, and it's like such a goofy song. I'm going to sing it for you guys because I feel like I'm in a goofy mood. In the little small towns. Did I know that you're by Duck Dynasty? Oh my gosh. See, I'm so used to this life, I feel like I don't know if I could do it, even though it sounds nice. Expressive people here are seen as overenthusiastic or fake. Yes. And I think I may get that. I'm sure some people think like, oh, she can't be that, whatever. Like, bitch, I am. I'm genuinely a joyful person. I find the good in a lot of things. I have my bad days. I do express them. Like I even will talk about them like on Instagram or Facebook so people like see that side, because I don't want people to think, "Oh, I have this perfect happy life that's always like glitters and rainbows." But I try to like take charge and create my life to be the best it can. I feel like we're here so short, and I almost died when I was 21, and that, I think, I already was a happy-go-lucky person. It didn't like change my personality, but it did put a shift in my focus of like, yes, I want to do good. I was going into television production. I was in college at the time studying television production. I wanted to keep doing that, but I was trying not to sweat the small stuff as much. Don't know a single neighbor's name. Yeah, that's how I was. I lived in an apartment complex, didn't know one person, you know? Now we're here, you have families, like we're in single families. We know our neighbors, but there are other neighborhoods. Like I'm jealous of those neighborhoods that like everybody hangs out. In Virginia, we actually had that, but we were behind, like all the kids were older and we moved in before we even had a kid. So by the time our daughter was old enough to play, they were older, but like you could see that family. It was in Virginia, and they, I guess the more southern you go, maybe it gets a little better. But they would have these like, you know, neighborhood, they just chill. Like after school, they'd be outside after homework, hanging out. The parents would be sitting in lawn chairs, kids running around. Like, that's cute. Yes, I'm married with one child. One child, she's 8. So we moved out to Virginia. I grew up in Maryland, right outside DC, like very close to DC. So it's that kind of hustle mentality. Then we moved to Virginia. You got married in Vegas. Oh my God, that's amazing. I went to Vegas. I went to Vegas before twice. Vegas is very fun. Vegas is amazing. Amazing. Oh my gosh, 36 minutes. I gotta get going. I have a client call in a little bit. I'm a life coach if you don't know me. Hi, I'm Christy, a life coach. And I just announced my podcast, which ties into some of all this because we were talking about trauma and stuff that creates people to be uncomfortable with love words and stuff like that. I am starting a podcast for women following abuse called But Still She Thrives. It'll be out in, allergies are, I know. These allergies. Good to see you though. Got injured in Afghanistan. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Met a girl a couple weeks before I left, and she took care of me when I returned. Oh, you got her. Good. Lock the good ones in, man. You got. So I said to my husband, I was like, I don't wait around. I really did. He had been with his ex for 6 years and didn't propose, whatever. So literally on our second date, I was pretty picky. And I was just like, this man is like a unicorn. Like he can't be real. And on our second date, we were talking about relationship stuff. And I was like, I mean, if this works out, like I wouldn't wait 6 years, right? And he was like, yeah. His brother introduced us. He's like, yeah, my brother said that about you. Or something like that. And I was like, yeah. I mean, I was like, I think I would know within a year if I was ready at this point, because I've dated and whatever. And I know what I want. And, I'm not going to settle. But if I feel like it's right, I will bounce. I will not wait long. And lucky for us, he proposed very soon after a year. And then we were married like a year later. So yay for love and hooking the good ones in. Because there are some crazies out there. I really have to finish my book. I did start a book about all the dating. I have done a lot of dating. Shared a hole in the desert with a guy. Introduced him to my now wife's sister. They're married now. Oh, that's so cool. I love that story, Andrew. Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you for serving our world. I know you're not in our country, but I can't even imagine. It's one of those things where you're just like, I remember when I got in my bad accident, I was talking about, I was in the helicopter like half alive, and I just remember looking up at the guy, and he was probably like 20 years old. I was like 21, and I was like, I started getting teary and I was like, thank you for doing this. And he was like, what? And I was like, thank you for doing what you do. Like, we need these people. Like, everybody has this different purpose. And it's just like, to me, I feel like I could never do it. And it's not for the lack of want, but it's obviously there's a fear that overrides that. It's just the job. Right, for you. Like, it's, hi, Marie. Hello. Hi, hun. See, I love Marie. I know her. She makes me happy. I'm going to be all, this is over enthusiastic, Christy. Yeah, but there is, yeah, I guess there's that innate thing and you feel called to do it. So to you, I guess it's just like, it's what I got to do. It's my job. Where I am like enamored by people who fight for their country like that, or people in healthcare on the front lines, and like people who stuck through COVID. Like, I'm an emotional person. I could cry too easily. So I feel it's people like Amazon that see and feel it every day that need recognition. They do too. I mean, you all do. Because I think just living every day though, for you, just living, knowing that you do at some point you're risking your life, whether it's today or like you're not deployed for whatever, a year down the road, or like there's just these risks involved that you live knowing that every day. So for me, I feel like I get what you're saying, and I agree. But it's just, I don't have to live with that. So it's something I'm just amazed at, and like I don't even have a word for it. There's gratitude, there's just amazement. That's the only word. I'm like amazed that people can like live every day with that underlying like risky feeling, you know. And I know we're all different, and you feel called to do that, and so to you it is just part of you. So I understand that, but for us outsiders, it's mind-blowing. So thank you. Everybody give a little clap. Give a big clap. So yeah, there's me and my enthusiasm. But I guess I'll get going. But this was quite a chat today, wasn't it, guys? Quite a chat. Thank you for joining me on my chats. I love them. I love when they go somewhere that I don't expect. And I love when people show up that we've never heard from before. Like, I love new people coming in the circle, even if you have nothing to do with like my life coaching and women abuse, right? You too, Andrew. I love people. I love people. So there it is, everybody. Marie, maybe we'll chat tomorrow. Maybe I'll come on a little later tomorrow. Maybe you'll be there and we can do our makeup together. It'd be fun. And Marie, today we were talking, you'll have to maybe watch back and you can comment, but we were talking about words of endearment and how some people don't like to be called honey or love or boo. I feel like a lot of older people don't like to be called boo. My mom does not want to be called boo. But we were talking about that. That's how this whole conversation started. Then we got into abuse, my new podcast, talked about in the UK, Andrew's from the UK. We were talking about how it is there with the words of endearment. And he was telling us about his marriage, his Vegas marriage, and all sorts of fun stuff. So you can watch back if you don't like it. No, I'm sure you don't. A lot of people don't like boo. That's, I feel like, I grew up in a city in this county that's like, we got a little gangster side, and that's where I think the boo kind of like, hey boo, right? Like, it's silly, but so I don't think that's the most common word of endearment. But all right, I will catch you guys maybe tomorrow. I've got to get ready, do my client call, watch some podcast prep stuff so I can do it. It's a sense of respect. Not calling someone boo. But boo. No, I'm just kidding. I understand the boo thing can sound disrespectful, but it's not. See, frugal Nista. Transplant Jersey girl, you hate it. You hate being called hun? Because I feel, yeah, Jersey and New York, it's that, yeah, depending where you are. Okay, hun. It's funny. My friend from Cherry Hill does not use those words. And she's in Jersey, Cherry Hill, though. Yeah, I'm going to wait to see her answer. So you hate being called hun? Is that it? It's a Jersey thing I had to get. Oh, okay. Yeah. Boo is between two lovers or close relatives. But see, Marie, here's the question then. How is that disrespecting you? How is it disrespect to call you boo? I mean, I'm not going to. I get what you're saying. Sorry, we're still going here. But I try to understand, like, because I understand not wanting to be called a certain name, but the disrespect thing, I'm like, how can it come off as that if it's like a loving word to me? Like, it doesn't mean I think you're my mate, my romantic partner. No hun or other endearing. You don't like any of them. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to understand because to me, I'm just expressing like gratitude. All right. Bye, hun. See? Bye, hun. Hun. Can I call you hun? Young enough to appreciate it. Yeah. I guess so. We got lost in translation. All right. So, oh, maybe you're saying that honey is, no, hun, or I said, maybe hun is okay. I don't know, but we'll figure it out later. Or we won't, and it doesn't matter that much. It's just interesting seeing everyone's perspective. All right, I'm going to go. Love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Smooches and deuces.